Why is this such an issue? What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It's been a minute since I've done a video like this, and the last time I did a video like this was exactly with this acoustic guitar with the Fishman pickup. Now, you might be asking yourself, if you have the Anthem, if you have the rare earth magnetic pickup in your acoustic guitar, why do you have an Anthem right here? Well, as you guys remember, last time I had this video going, I had 3 rare earth magnetic pickups from Fishman. And I explained to you guys that the first one that I got, the little lever or the wheel for the blending option, the blending part, was it broke in the middle, right before my gig started. Like right before I played the first set, I was adjusting the blend. I was getting a little bit of feedback. I wanted to go away from the mic, go into the magnetic pickup. Right as I was switching, the wheel broke and I was stuck. And I think I was stuck almost at 50-50, 60-40 mic, not magnetic pickup. The second one that they sent me, it was kind of rough around the edges. You can tell that it wasn't really a new product and what it had been messed with before, or maybe somebody dropped it or something. So I sent it back. I got a third one that I installed inside this guitar right here. And it's still here. Don't get me wrong. Since the last time I recorded this video, this pickup has been in here. I have not taken it out. I haven't done anything different. I just played. I played a ton of gigs with this pickup. A ton. And while it worked, for as long as it worked, it sounded great. And for the most time, I was playing in closed bars. A couple of times I played out in the open, like at an outside patio, and then I could use the mic, blend in the mic a little bit more. But for those closed bars where the sounds are hitting off the wall and it's not sound treated and it's coming right back to you, I was using a lot of the magnetic pickup. And for that, in my acoustic guitar setup, I was using some IRs, Taylor IRs, and to give it a little bit more of that acoustic sound rather than that, piezo type of sound that you get from pickups. And it sounded great. And that's mostly what I kept it on. However, once I wanted to use the mic and I wanted to blend it in, there was a show which I thought, this is an enclosed space, but it's a quiet bar. It's just me playing guitar. There's nothing happening right in front of me. The tables are far away. I'm just kind of the music guy on the corner. Let me try using the blend. Let me try blending in the mic. And I got this crazy bad static sound coming from the pickup. I tried adjusting the screws here. Maybe I thought I had it too tight. Maybe I thought, I had the mic pointing too much one way or another way. I adjusted everything and nothing. And in the magnetic pickup, I don't get that, which is why I didn't notice it until maybe like 2 months since I started using this pickup. I don't even know how long I've had it, to be quite honest with you. But it can't be more than 3 or 4 months. So it worked for about half the time I had that. And I held on to the pickup and I thought, man, I've already dealt with Joey Moreno from Sweetwater, by the way. Such a cool guy. I spoke to him on the phone. I called him personally instead of just going through an email, because when you return something for a third time and you're asking for something else, like it's getting kind of fishy, right? It's getting in that territory that's like, man, this guy just wants to run through new products. And that's just not me. So I made sure that I called them personally. I talked to Joey and I'm like, hey man, look, I'm just not having good luck with the Fishman. It sounds great. I really liked it. I liked the fact that I could completely take out the microphone from it, just use the magnetic pickup, no hum, no buzz, no feedback, nothing. But if I'm gonna pay the price that they're asking for this pickup, I need the mic option to work, even if I don't use it, even if I just use it 10% of the time. If I wanna be home here, and I want to record something at home, and I wanna use the mic option, I want it to be an available option. And I didn't have that option. So yeah, I thought, you know what? I talked to him. He said, I can send you another rare earth and you'll have the same pickup, or you can try something different. I have watched tons of videos on a bunch of pickups, and the ones that came up the most as the top two have always been these two. Always. In almost all videos that I watch, it's either this is the best pickup that they ever tried, or this is the best pickup they ever tried. And sometimes, not on all the videos, but sometimes in some videos, there will be guys using different guitars, which to me doesn't make a lot of sense, because if you want to really do a good comparison on the guitars, you want to use the same guitar if possible, the same exact one. So if you want to see what this pickup sounds like, I already have a video of the installation process and what I did in that video. So what I am going to do now is I am going to take this pickup off because I have to send it back. And I'm gonna install the LR Baggs Anthem True Mic Technology, True Mic and Element Pickup Mixing System. I am intrigued to see what this is going to sound like because I have heard that this is better than this. I'm not sure, but I'm gonna give this a try. And hopefully this is the last time I have to do a video like this, at least for this guitar. If I'm gonna buy a different guitar and install a different system on it, then okay, sure. But hopefully this is the last time I have to do something like this. So I am going to take this pickup off. I am going to be installing this pickup. It should just be a swap. So this is not a sound hole pickup. This is going to be here on the side, like the stock one that I had previously. And we'll go from there. All right, so what's gonna happen here is I'm gonna take this off, but I have encountered yet again another problem. I have just realized that as I put my hand in the sound hole of the guitar, the old Fishman system that came with this Martin, the skeleton, the bones of it, it's still here on the side. So I am going to have to take these strings off. I'm gonna have to take this Fishman pickup off, and then I'm gonna have to figure something out. I'm gonna have to take this off. And if I can't, then I'm gonna have to take this to a luthier probably tomorrow because I have gigs coming up this week, and this needs to be done this week. So I'm going to be doing that, and I'm just gonna kind of cut through the process real quick as I record this, and I will let you guys know. You guys will find out with me just exactly how much trouble we are here. So let's get to it. It's very important that I have a working pickup. I've been using the videos and the audio that I rip from my gigs, you know, as promo, and I send that to bars. And I've invested very heavily on my live setup, and my live setup sounds damn good. So I've been getting a lot of gigs. So let me just take out this and see, like, I'm not exactly sure why I was getting so much buzzing from this. It doesn't make much sense to me, but it is what it is, my friends. So there is that. Let me open up this LR Baggs here. Let's take a look at this. So here's one part of the pickup. Let me get the rest of this so I can really have a good idea on how to do this, because this has transducers mic, if I'm not mistaken, that go right here under the bridge of this guitar. So here's the entire system. It is this part right here that goes in the guitar, and then there's this part right here, which I'm assuming is a microphone, and then it comes with a few cables. It comes with the jack here. See that right there? We're going to be installing this guy in there. Comes with a little pouch here for cables. This is very, very cool. Lots of pouches here, lots of little stickies. Did seem like LR Baggs really did think this through. So let's see if there's a diagram here that kind of explains how to do this, especially if there's a previous system here. Now they have sent this sturdy little thing here. I don't know what this is for. You register your product by user's guide. Person must roll the mix control completely toward the neck while you are making adjustments with the tool provided, the mic level control is this little button right here. Let's see if I can actually, that is the level control. This tool, you're gonna put it in there and you're going to turn it. And that's how you will control the volume of this thing. Very interesting. I have to take this toothpick every show I take. This is a very vital tool. Okay, so I'm gonna turn the guitar on its side. So this is much bigger than I thought. I'm going to take a look at this and see what I can do. And we'll go from there. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think we are good to go. I grabbed a little flathead, stuck it right in here, gave it a good bump. It came right off. So that was from the original pickup that was in here. Took that right off. Now that's there. I'm about to remove the Fishman pickup from here. Here is the Fishman pickup, and again here for full transparency, you know, the wheel here is still there. There's nothing wrong with it. The little toggle switch here is still there. Nothing wrong with it. For some reason, this mic right here was giving me a lot of issues. So I had a really good time with this pickup for, you know, while it lasted, while it worked, but it's time to try something new. So I think the way I'm going to treat this installation process is to go with the input jack first. There's nothing like really straightforward here about how you install this pickup, but it doesn't look like rocket science here. So let's go together with these and just kind of go one by one. But again, I think what I am going to do first here is install this input jack first. Let's see, there's a little line here and that goes there. Okay, and there's a little battery. Okay, so this goes here, right? Okay, we're getting there. We're getting there. There's this little transducer and it goes piezo pickup, which is, it has to be this one that will go right in there. And then this, which I'm not sure what this is, it goes on the other one. All right, so yeah, I think the best course of action is to do this jack here. Let's get this in there and let's work our way through this. Let's go in here. God, I feel like I'm violating this guitar. There it is. Just give it plenty of slack. Okay, we're in. Turn it on its side. And if you are somebody that is used to doing these kind of things, I hope you're having fun watching me struggle. These are the kind of struggles you have to go through in order to really know your instrument, right? Like you can't expect to be an expert at your instrument if you don't go through these things in your lifetime as a musician. I feel like every musician needs to be able to do this. This is something I must do on my own. So that is in there. Oh, would you look at that? That kind of fit right there. I may or may not keep it there because it kind of looks ridiculous, but what I'm talking about. That right there. I mean, I guess it kind of looks cool, but anyways, we will see. I mean, I like the bronze. It goes with the color of my guitar. But honestly, how it looks to me, it really makes no difference. So let me get this jack. This jack right here, as you can see, there's not a lot of free room here, right? It's pretty tight. Thinking about how this is going to work out and how this is all going to sit here. This system has to go in there this way, right? So it's going to sit right here. Let's turn it on its side. It is going to sit right there. There's a bigger pad here that's gonna go on there. Yeah, I mean, this fits right here and it fits like a glove. My only concern is this back pad here. I guess there's a little piece of wood that it can just kind of sit right there. All right, let's do this. Wish me luck. Oh boy. Man, this is such an issue. I'm gonna wear out the sticky of this thing. This is not secure in there at all. And I'm wondering why or what I'm gonna have to do to keep that tightly secured in there. So maybe I would have to put like an extra sticky right here. And honestly, I think that's what I'm gonna have to do to provide that extra padding, because right now there is nothing connecting in this front here. So when you are trying to put this pickup here and it feels loose in there and it feels like it's kind of rocking and there's really no good contact point, you're just gonna have to add these extra stickies here, because not only will provide extra padding here and raise the overall level, but also, you know, help it secure. Doesn't seem like very sturdy in there. I don't know if it's sturdy is the actual correct word that I'm trying to look for. This is kind of a pain in the ass, if I'm just being completely honest. And I'm like really holding this down to the point where I'm having, you know, it's kind of making me nervous that I'm not pressing too hard and breaking something in there. Like, because the last thing you want is for you to go adjust something in here in the middle of a gig and it come off just like it happened when I had the Fishman, you know? But at least for now, it seems a lot better, except for back there, which now I am slightly nervous because I have to connect everything in there. And honestly, if I could go back and redo this, that's probably what I would have done, is connect everything first and then attach what you need to attach. I may just go and drop it off to you myself, because like I said, I thought I could do this, and I felt real confident because I installed all the other 3 Fishman pickups that I had. So I was like, oh yeah, this is gonna be fucking piece of cake. And nope. Yeah, it's just a little bit more than I can do, because now I'm gonna need a new bridge nut. Yeah.
Because the old one was thicker.
The old one was thicker, so now this is sitting way low than before. Yeah, because this new piezo threaded line, it's kind of it's a little bit thinner, and it's a little bit more malleable than the other one. The other one was like hard.
Okay, awesome. Okay, just let me know when you're coming.
Okay, man. I'll take it out to you tomorrow. All right, bye. Ladies and gentlemen, I recorded that call for 2 reasons. One, because I am not afraid to get in here and say I am in way over my head. This is not only going to require some more extensive work from somebody that really knows what they're doing. I'm gonna need a new bone bridge, because as you guys can see, my previous piezo line here is thick, and this one is much, much thinner. I'm not gonna be able to show this to you right here, because I'm just, you know what, maybe I can just take this off and I can show you. This piezo line is not as thick as my other one. As you guys can see here, this one, it may not look like it, but this one is much thicker than this one. So because of that, the way that the bone saddle is sitting on the acoustic guitar, now it's gonna change the whole configuration of my guitar. I do not have an extra bone saddle here. I do not have extra stickies here. So this is going to require a lot more work than I can do here at my house. So, and the reason why I recorded the end of that phone call is so you guys can see that don't be afraid to take it to somebody that really knows what the hell they're doing. My mistake should be a learning thing for you. You should see that this is a lot of work and much more work than you're gonna be doing if you don't know what you're doing. If you get this anthem, take it to somebody that knows what they're doing. This is very, 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 very important, because the installation process is the most important part of this whole thing. And if this is not done right, it won't sound right. And seeing how this is part of my livelihood, I'm gonna take it to somebody that knows what they're doing. So when I receive this guitar back, I'm gonna have different clothes on. I'm not gonna take this off and just put it here on my desk. I'm gonna have different clothes on. It's gonna be a whole different day. But I will get it sounding for you guys so you guys can see what it sounds like with this pickup. So I'm gonna hang on to my Fishman for a few more days, actually, just in case. But yeah, this will be the end of the video for now because I can't get this done. But that's fine. This is a very important thing for me to talk to you about. If you're in over your head, know when to back out and call for help. So as you can tell, some time has passed, and it's been about 3.5 weeks, more or less, since I sent the guitar to have the LR Baggs Anthem installed. And honestly, it took about 5 days for the guitar to be finished. I got it actually I got it the same day I had a gig. So I took it on a Friday or Thursday, and then I got it back on the next Friday. Took it to a gig. It was a gig in which I was playing bass, so I didn't play the guitar that night, but I did test it there on the stage. I take everything. I use the modular, I use the quad cortex. That's what I played this through. I had my quad cortex. I had my powered amp, so I just went ahead and played through it. It sounded mint. It sounded great. So I would just want to give the shout out to Jimmy Smithwick from Jimmy's repair shop. Jimmy is a wizard. But we did have some issues with the Anthem, and I think it's mostly because of my guitar more than the pickup, the system itself. In here, right around this area of the acoustic guitar, there was not enough bracing for the Anthem to sit on. So if you're thinking about getting this pickup, you have to make sure that it's mounted correctly. It's mounted on there and it's going to be secure. You do not want this thing falling over because it's just not secure. So here on this side, let me turn here for you guys. So here on the side, there's some stickies that you can put on the pickup, and you can firmly press against this part of the sound hole. And then there's a little bump or a little concave little area that goes over the bracing, like the little wood that's inside the guitar. It goes over that, and then it sits on the other side, and then you can press firmly as well on the other side. So it'll have 3 points of contact. It'll be 1, 2, and then a big, large surface area here. But the problem is, with this guitar in particular, my guitar, this is a Martin, this is the DX2AE Macassar model. There was like a little bracing that was running right through here, but not through here. So it was only connecting in one place and it was not staying put. So when I took this out the last time, I completely messed it up. This is why I say, if you guys are not familiar with it, or if you guys are not too sure how to do this, take it to somebody that knows what they're doing. Because not only did I waste all of the stickies, all of them, I wasted all of the stickies that came with this thing. Now we didn't have any stickies, so now we had to figure something out. But then Jimmy figured it out. He got it mounted, and then what we did is we added an extra piece of wood right here, like a little block of wood that would allow this to sit on top, and now it sits nice and flush. It's secure there. It's not going to fall. It actually has got like Velcro. This is like Velcroed in here. This is how much we made sure that this was not coming out. Yeah, and so after everything was tested, after I came home and I plugged everything in and I was playing with everything, man, this sounds great. What I like about this the most is the natural sound of the guitar that you're gonna get from this. Now, again, as I said it with the Fishman pickup, if you're going to play in a closed place, like in a closed bar where, it's kind of tight, the crowd's gonna be there, you're gonna have a band, if you're gonna be playing with a band, a drummer, it might feedback. So you can roll this off to its, with the piezo pickup. So this is the, what they call the true mic technology, and then the piezo towards the bridge is the mic, towards the neck is the piezo pickup. And I gotta be honest, the piezos for this guitar, it sounds good. It sounds like a piezo, but I use impulse responses from acoustic guitars. So I get an IR and I put it in my signal chain. And right now I'm using an IR for a Taylor guitar. So with the piezo and the you have to have a piezo guitar, a piezo pickup. if you have that and the IR, it sounds phenomenal. It really kind of does sound like you get acoustic tones from the piezo, which is, you know, some of the piezos you hear kind of like a metallic sound, and it sounds a little crispy, a little too much, you know, too crispy. If you're gonna do that, obviously, if you don't have a way to put IRs, use the piezo. It'll sound fine, right? It sounds fine. But if you wanted to sound mint, I highly recommend using acoustic guitar IRs, and you can get that on it's now called Signal Theory. It used to be called Worship Tones, I believe, but it's now called Signal Theory. And you can download. There's some free ones in there if you want to go ahead and download. There's some free ones, and there's some ones that are paid. I paid for a particular model of a Taylor that I really like, and I used the IR of that. In here, they give you so many different options for you to mix and match, but that's not what we're talking about. Maybe one day I can talk about the IRs in itself. This pickup sounds great, and then you know, when you put it into the microphone setting, it's wow. It sounds great. I have honestly, I think I like the Anthem better than the Fishman, the magnetic rare earth metal pickup. I think that this is not that the other ones aren't good. You know, I liked it a lot, and I would have kept it if it hadn't messed up. But now that I tried this and I put this on there, I just really like this. I like this better. I feel like it has more of a natural acoustic sound to it. I like the simplicity of this. It's very nice. It's got a volume button. It's got a phaser button. You can click, and you can tell how it sounds. If you don't like it, you can click it back in. And then you have a mix, and then you have a battery check here. And then on this side, you have a microphone, like an adjustment. It will come with this little piece right here. And it was recommended to start with it all the way to the left. And if you guys see here, it's gonna be on this little pamphlet. This little piece right here, you use this tool on there, and you're gonna put it on there, and then you're gonna turn it to adjust the mic level. So this is, you're supposed to go all the way up towards the neck, and then plug it in, start playing it, and then roll it down till you can keep that acoustic sound profile, if you want to call it that, from the pickup. But I've tested this pickup already. If you guys check on my channel, my videos, I have a cover of I Just Died in Your Arms Tonight by Cutting Crew. And then I have a cover of Holy Diver, Dio's Holy Diver acoustic, and both of them are half step down. Yeah, and it sounded great. Now, in those videos, I did some mixing of the acoustic. So if you wanna hear what the pickup actually sounds like, I'm gonna go ahead and sit on my chair here. I'm gonna plug this in. I wanna go direct in through my interface, and then I'm gonna pick up the sound through my microphone, and then you guys can hear it for yourself, and then you can go back to the Fishman video and then compare if you want to see what sounds best to your ears. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this plugged in, and then we'll check it out. Okay, so I am going to record, and let's start all the way out to the right towards the bridge, and we're gonna pick up the sound coming from the microphones, and then we're going to blend that about halfway. You're gonna get the sound of that, and then we're gonna go all the way to the left towards the neck of the guitar to get the piezo as is. I'm not adding anything, no IRs, nothing like that. So you guys can see and hear what that is like. So let's start right now with just the piezo pickup. So now I am going to go ahead and blend that about halfway in. All right, so this is more or less about halfway in, and this is what it sounds like. So now we're gonna go all the way to the left using just that for the microphones. Let's do the same thing. We'll do the strum. We'll end on that G, and then we'll pick the G, and then you guys can have all three. And again, you can blend this as you like, but I'm gonna go all the way to the right, right in the middle, all the way to the left. So there it is. That's all three for you guys to listen to, and make your own judgment, make your own decisions on what you think sounds best, what you think sounds right. Just remember, if you're gonna be playing at a open wide place and it's just you and the acoustic guitar, then perhaps you can use more of the microphone, instead of the piezo guitar. And if you want, you can blend in some stuff. But if you're gonna be playing inside at a show where we're just gonna be loud and the sound's gonna be bouncing off the walls back into the guitar, then perhaps use the piezo so you can play the acoustic with a drummer, with whatever, and it will sound just fine. The one thing actually, now that I think about it, one thing that I noticed is that the bass was a little boomy with the Anthem. So when I was playing the guitar at the bar, I felt like when I was playing like a E major at the end of that, when it kind of resonates, I felt the big old whomp, and it started to kind of feedback. So I had to go into my mixer and dial down the low end a little bit. So just keep that in mind, the low end. And it could be just the way that my pedal was set up. It could be the way that the bar was set up, but it's just something to keep in mind. I thought that the low end kind of was a little bit boomy, but everything else, everything was nice and crisp. Really, I had no complaints whatsoever about this pickup. And after so many issues that I've had, I am not taking this pickup out of here. If I ever end up selling this guitar, it's gonna go Anthem and everything all together, and I'll just buy another Anthem. And if I get another guitar, I'll just end up having the Anthem installed there before I even do anything, because I'm not going through this again. It was a pain in the ass for me. For the person that knows what they're doing, probably not so much, but for me, it was a real big pain in the ass to get this whole thing going, the whole thing started. But I am happy with it. I am glad I did it. It sounds great. I got compliments on the way that the guitar sounded that weekend from my bandmate. So nothing but good things to talk about the Anthem. So that is it. That is a video for the LR Baggs Anthem pickup. Very pleased with it. If you guys want to see videos on how I use the acoustic live, let me know. I would definitely do that. I use it with the Quad Cortex. So again, perhaps that's a video that I can, post how to use the Quad Cortex within an acoustic setup and how exactly I use it myself. Or if you want to see just videos about the QC in general, or its plugins that I own a ton, and it's actually quite concerning spending habit that I have newer DSP plugins. But yeah, that's it. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.